Hi, this is Sive Morten with the daily update on EURFX. I post my exclusive market overviews with the key political and economical events, charts and important levels on the ForexPeaceArmy.com forums weekly. This short video is a response to rapidly changing situation on the currency markets and should help you to stay on top of the game and be profitable. I suggest you to visit ForexPeaceArmy.com forum and read my analysis for the week before watching this daily video.
Welcome back, everybody. So let's take a look again on euro currency. So you can see euro was not able to just break the resistance off the cuff, so by the impulse action. So the attempt has failed and market turning to the downside. Yes, overall pullback doesn't seem like something really bad, so it's not really very awful. It's just minor pullback that we see on intraday charts. Still, our initial entry point hasn't been taken out, so in fact currently we do not have the long position that we have taken, because the break-even area where we was going long was mostly taken out. So it means that in the current circumstances, as market really feels the lack of power to show immediate breakout, we need to consider lower standing support areas and another background, another context for taking the long position. So currently at this point we're not considering taking the new long position. So it's just because of the price action that we saw recently. What we could keep an eye on the daily chart. First of all, it's of course the MACD line. So the trend still stands bullish, and one of the patterns that we could consider is possible bullish grabber if market will show retracement slightly lower. So somewhere around 1265, 1270 area, it might be flirting with the MACD predictor line, and maybe we get bullish pattern. That might be a really important part of the bullish short-term bullish context, suggesting that market still could try to hit the 1380 area. On the 4-hour time frame chart, as I said, nothing really dramatic has happened. So here, as you can see, market taking out of these lows, slightly taking out. So some kind of the Russian risk has happened here. So formally, the grabber theoretically still exists. So it's has not been cancelled totally, especially with this type of the performance. Usually, it needs to close below the lows of the grabber to cancel it totally, but it was hurt significantly. So using this pattern as a major point of our bullish context, currently seems impossible. So it's definitely not enough to make us take a new long position. But in general, overall, butterfly is still possible. So if market will show a deeper retracement to the 1275 area, for instance, the 618 support, this will be deeper shape of the wing, but overall pattern will be still valid, and it will be valid until market stands above these lows. So actually we can't say that the bullish context totally has been erased. It's just failed attempt to break resistance right in the moment. So it means that we first need to wait for some pullback and then see what will happen, whether the market will take another attempt or not. So on the hourly chart, the support line also has been broken here. Currently we have minor ABCD pattern that market accurately is following. So this ABCD market hits the OP recently, nice pullback, but with the recent sell-off, this was relatively strong, and in general, taken into consideration in general, this was the failure attempt to show the upward continuation. Personally, I like idea with the waiting a bit deeper retracement. So in the current performance, I did not want to buy right at the OPs because a recent sell-off just has happened. It was relatively strong. This is not some strong support area, and chances exist that we'll still get deep retracement. At least this is personal to me. So if you would like to, you could try to, maybe you will be right, I don't know, because here is maybe 50% supports OP. But the two things that makes me worry about the current situation, first is the very strong sell-off recently, sell-off in general, and the fact that market just has failed to show the breakout. This is too small retracement to consider taking the long position again. So that's why I think that it's better to wait for 68.76 confidence support. Agreement support to consider taking a long position again. Besides, if you'll take a look at this larger ABC top pattern, you will see that COP 618 extension also will stand 1265. So that will be a nice support cluster that, together with the daily grabber, could provide more or less sufficient context for considering taking the long position again. But this is, guys, only things that stands on the surface and on the intraday charts. In general, I would like to remind you the things that we discussed in our weekly report. First of all the stuff that we have just discussed is not the center of the analysis for the euro currency. This is just minor tactic price behavior on the intraday charts. One of the major things that we're waiting for is to take a look at the weekly chart. That's potentially the bearish grabber, guys. So if we will get the bearish grabber on the weekly chart this week, it suggests taking out of these lows and falling to our long-term bearish analysis, bearish view that we have discussed in our weekly report. So, because as you remember, in general, we have the bearish view on the euro currency, and we treat this currency performance that we see with this possible retracement to the 1380 area or maybe into the 114 area is just a tactical bounce. So this is, has no relation to the big trends. This is just a technical response on the support, minor retracement in a long-term bearish trend. So that's our basic view currently. And all the stuff that we're talking about is dedicated just to minor trading steps on intraday charts, how we could play with this possible retracement. But in general, if we will get bearish grabber this week on the weekly chart, and as we already also said about this performance, that it now is getting some signs of the bearish dynamic pressures. Take a look at the trend stands bullish, but price action actually is not. So mostly flat, and even shows lower lows and lower highs tendency. Well, this is not very good. It just indicates some bearish pressure exists here. So that being said, although we are not losing hope that market still could show the bounce, and we're still considering some bullish steps, but we will see what will happen around the support areas that we have just discussed.